So the next part we need to discuss about is how to prepare, how to practice, prepare, study the material required, etc. Now obviously so the first thing is what all material will be needing. So first of all, you already have the calculators in place. You will need to purchase Schweizer books on your own. So there are going to be 4 textbooks, and I believe they give 1 practice book. Not that important. The 4 textbooks are important, which has all the 5 subjects in the same. The practice material will be provided by us, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't need any other practice material. So the practice material is going to be taken care of by us. So that is your requirement. Now how are we going to go about it with respect to the preparation? This is the first class, not like a demo class or something. The first class that you need to make sure that you know the syllabus. You cannot not know the syllabus and just start studying. It's important that you get the overall picture of what the curriculum is all about. So what you need to do is the introduction class you have. The calculator class is there on YouTube as well. You know how to use the calculator, so it's not needed as such. Just in case you want to, you can go through it, would not be needed. The next thing is there will be an order of study that will be provided to you. So you'll have to go one after the other reading based on the order of study that is given. So your objective will be to attend or watch the class based on whether you're a live student or a video student. You do the class, you study the chapter parallelly, and you immediately practice the questions. The practice questions behind the chapter Schweizer is kind of a given, and I'm not even counting that as a part of practice. You will do it. There are hardly 4-5 questions behind every reading. So that by default you're doing. Other than that, the practice material will be provided from my side. Now the practice becomes a little issue with respect to current issues. That's what most of the students ask me, because the practice material is not available for that. Because since the syllabus keeps on changing on a year-on-year basis, there is hardly anybody who would prepare any practice question for current issues. So there you'll have to rely on just the few questions of Schweizer, and you'll have to go with whatever preparation you are doing. So you'll get an idea based on the few questions behind the book. Now, with respect to the materials, the questions I get, I'll again come, I'm just checking if I've covered everything. So the first question I get is Schweizer material going to be sufficient? So when you're looking at the content part, every single LOS is covered in the class and in Schweizer as well. But the second thing is that the understanding, the implication, etc. will be needed. So if there's anything extra that is being done, I'm making you write in the class itself, or in the book itself, in the border, in the margin or something. So that is fine. The understanding has to be 100% thorough. But otherwise, when you're talking about it from the text part of it, it's absolutely fine. You don't need anything else. That is one. Studying from multiple places is going to create an issue. So it's better if you study from one place. So again, if you want, you can go ahead with the institute material, but then institute material would be great, but at the same time, people are generally not able to find time in order to complete the entire institute material. So therefore, we will stick to Schweizer also for our classes. You study, read, then do the Schweizer book, and I'll do a session once you're done with the 3-4 reading. Once you've completed 3-4 chapters, I'll tell you how to study and practice. So you'll watch, there will be a 15-20 minute session that I take as to how you need to study and how you need to practice. So I'll take one more detailed session once you guys are on board, once you guys have already started studying, because after you do 2-3 chapters, you'll understand better. The practice questions, my book, so what are the options that we have? With respect to practice questions, my practice book that I will be providing, there will be 2 volumes. Book 1 and 2 in first book and book 3 and 4 in the second. That is absolutely sufficient. You don't need to do anything right now along with it. So once the syllabus is over, the class is done, padhai studying done, and the practice book done, then the institute releases mock paper, we can do that. So the mock paper, whenever it happens for the live students, I also ping in the WhatsApp group for the video students that I'm taking the live batch ka mock test on so and so date. So you guys also give it in the exam, a 4 hour at a stretch and everything. And whatever analysis I do on the live with the live student batches, I post the same for the video batches also, that this subject is being done well, this is the problem, this is what you have to manage. So based on the live feedback, video students also get a feedback, and they're also updated with the average score that the live students got in the mock test. So all those things are taken care of. That will happen towards the end, a month before the exam, 20 days or a month before 20 days before the exam. So that is that. So mocks are going to be at the end. You cannot do everything, so don't plan to practice from everywhere, because it generally does not work out. So plan it better. You know you have 80 plus readings. So say suppose you have 80 plus readings. So say suppose you have 4 months to the exam, and you're keeping apart. So right now I have 4 months, and then I'm keeping 20 days for revision. So in the 4 months there are 16 weeks. 16 weeks, 80 chapters. 80 chapters means 5 chapters a week. So my target has to be not in terms of hours, but in terms of the number of chapters per week. And trust me, 5 chapters is not difficult. I'll talk about, you know, how working guys can manage and all. I'll come to that. Let me just check if I've skipped out anything. You have to do the practice parallelly. You cannot do the practice at the end, because otherwise you not understand what level of preparation you've done, whether your attention is fine, what kind of questions are coming, your approach to studying is fine or not. So you have to do the practice parallelly. And how for the working professionals and all, how you can manage practice and all, I will discuss. I do a how to study and practice session. So I'll tell you what all classes we do. Like we have a how to revise, we do how to attempt your paper. Very important, you have to watch that session twice at least. So the tricks of attempting the paper and all, we do it towards the end. So I'll tell you about all those things. So you cannot do everything, you have to understand. You cannot mug up everything. You have to understand the content, you cannot do that. You have to be very thorough, you cannot do selective studying. Although in part 2, since the syllabus is quite extensive and there are a couple of very irritating chapters, you can, like the rating assignment methodologies, as I told you, that's the only chapter I've ever said in across all the curriculums that you can leave. You can leave. Again, I have nothing to do with the exam, I've got nothing to do with the institute, I've got nothing to do with the paper. But still, if one question turns up and if you want to avoid, you can. So the classes would be approximately 140 to 150 hours or so. I'm just giving you a roundabout figure, 140, 150 hours or so. There are revision classes about 10, 15, 20 hours or so. And so 140 hours, you can break it up in that manner also. 140 hours divided by, let's say, 16 weeks or 10 hours per week. So you have to do 10 hours worth of classes per week and updating the studies and all. So let's say 5 hours and 5 hours on Saturday, Sunday. And Monday to Friday before office, you're just studying and updating your practice. So you're just doing 5 hours worth of classes, or you can do 2 hours worth of classes every day, Monday to Friday before office, and Saturday, Sunday you're just studying and updating with your question answers. So you have to be disciplined. If you want to clear the exam, of course you'll have to make compromises right now. Then other than that, importance level, I'm giving it to you anyways. There are certain online questions on the institute's website also, but all those things will come in after your syllabus is over. So right now your focus needs to be on this. And you know, I'll keep on giving you tricks like that. So when I discuss how to exactly study and practice, so you know, when you're practicing questions, if there's any new idea or any new concept that has been, it would not be, but a new approach or a new trick is there, then you need to circle that question, write the trick in the textbook, because you cannot revise all the questions again later. So you'll have to do that. So do your own calculation. I will give you a tracker and everything. I'll tell you how to use that and everything, but do your own homework. It's very simple. Number of weeks, leave 20 days or 15 days at least for revision at the end. And a very simple question, a very simple analysis, that is number of weeks divided by a number of chapters divided by number of weeks. That is your target. So you need to study, you need to do the class, you need to study, and you need to practice parallelly all the 3 things every chapter. Now what you can do is, probably I'll again discuss in details how exactly to study and practice. I'll get into the details part. Like say for example, the chapters that have been categorized as C, skip the practice of those, depending on the kind of time frame you have. So if you have 3 months left, you have to modify all those things. So I'll come to that part. I'll discuss that part as well. So this is with respect to your preparation and the material required. There is nothing else that you would be needing apart from what I'm going to give you for practice. Comfortable? So this is your study material and preparation requirement.